everyone, and today is Fable Friday, my favorite day of the week. And this is the day where I just kind of tell you stories about my life, the journey, close the loop on things that I've started telling you about before. So this is a fun day. I just get to brain dump, and then you guys are like, yeah. So today is a part 2 of the last Fable Friday, where I brought you into sort of the real estate investment world. Something that you didn't know about me before is that I am a real estate broker, managing broker owner, and I have been for many years. And this is something that I do on the side from my full 9-to-5 professional career. And what I did last time is talk you through how I got into real estate and some of my early adventures in real estate. And then I wanted to fast forward and tell you about, you know, how I am navigating real estate today in such a different market, and some of the services that my husband and his partners do, and maybe some ideas on how you can get involved if you're looking for a way to invest in real estate, become a real estate investor, flipper, you want to buy, sell, anything. So those are the goals of today's Fable Friday. So within this gamut of what we call in real estate investment, there are several I'll call pillars. And I think I broke it down to you guys before just a little bit. There are respective areas where most people focus, and then there's an umbrella, like we're all working towards the same thing. So for me, my expertise is on the brokerage side for the buying and the selling of properties. So I conduct the real estate transactional side around selling the properties once they have been rehabbed, or helping people sell their properties if in the event that they cannot work with us from an investment perspective, we will help them sell their properties. And some of them also become investors or are investors, and I help them procure properties for them to also fix, flip, rent, all of the things. And then there's the perspective of those who just need some consulting and ideas on how to get into a property or out of a property. So just all the things that you would expect from a typical residential real estate brokerage are the things that I focus on. So today, for example, I am working on a transaction where there is a seller we approached to do an investment deal with, to either to buy the property from him and fix it up and sell it. The situation is that the home is in such a dire condition, it just wasn't going to work from an investment perspective. So we thought we'd just sell it, and we went down the path of a short sale, and then now we're going down a cash avenue. It's just all these different things, these different paths. It's a VA loan on the property, so it doesn't make it easy. Those of you who have ever worked in the VA capacity know what I mean. It's not easy. So my role here is really just to help him get out of this home so he can move on with his life and get rid of this non-performing asset. So I am helping. This is a regular transaction, but it is a distressed property. I have another transaction that I'm working on, for example, that was a referral. Someone has a home who the home has suffered some major fire damage. He owns the home free and clear. It was deeded to him from the bank because they wanted no parts of it, and he just wants to get the asset out of his name and kind of recoup any funds that he possibly can. So this one's a straight up cash deal for the right investor, and we found a buyer like without even listing it. It was just a hot piece, and we were able to find a buyer right away, a cash buyer right away. Of course, because the way my life is set up, nothing is fur free. There's always fur on it. And there's some things that we're working through, but still, these are the types of deals that I kind of help people with that don't make it through the investment side of the house. Obviously a regular real estate broker as well, but because I do have a 9-to-5, I work on referral only. People who know me kind of refer people to me, and I help people that way. So friends, family, associates, circle of influence, my sphere of influence are the people that I typically work with, because I am not actively marketing for my my real estate business. The other things that we do within this partnership are a few things, and I alluded to it before. We will acquire properties, fix them, sell them, and fix them, sell them, and get the equity from them. And then that is either, a combination of compensating the partners as well as reinvesting in the company. They work with other investors where they they project manage the fix and flip, what are you going to call it, fix and flip for them. So investors are paying for it, and also compensating them for project management. And then also on the back end of it, we're listing and selling the property. The other thing that is happening is called I just called it a fix and flip, where we serve as sort of the investor for people who do have equity in their home. They don't necessarily have or want to put money into the home to fix it, but they also don't want to sell it as is so that they don't make any profit. So they work with this company to, we put the money up, fix the home, project manage the fixing, put it on the market and sell it, and then all the owner has to do is collect the money at the end. Now, of course, all of those things cost money. The pieces ahead of that, like all of those things cost money, so the dividends are split to pay the investment company for the pieces that they owned, and then the proceeds go to the seller for having done nothing but saying okay, right? So that's a pretty slick thing. The next facet of what's going to evolve is rentals, so the buy and holds or buy, fix and holds. So that's another element. And so there's a lot of ways that people can get involved in real estate, and if that's something you're interested in, we could definitely have more conversations. Some people understand that they have no knowledge of this space and they would rather just invest funds. Like, I have all this money sitting here losing value because inflation is usually higher than the interest rate that you have in a bank. So they're like, how can I invest my money? Because it's just sitting here under my mattress, so to speak. So you can be an investor, a financial investor. You could also obviously acquire the property, and if you know nothing about fixing it up and you just want to fix it up, you can acquire the property, fund the rehab, but you could contract someone to project manage the rehab on your behalf so that you don't make any faux pas, waste time, waste money, all of the things, or get scammed, all the things that could possibly happen. And then obviously some people just like to buy and hold. They buy it, make sure it's in good enough condition to rent it, and then just kind of acquire a portfolio of assets in the real estate space. So that's something that, if you're interested in, you could do that. But all of these things, really, you should work with a professional to assess each acquisition to make sure that the numbers are right. Because sometimes people are just grabbing things for the sake of grabbing things, and once you do the math on it, you're not making any gains at all. You always have to set a margin or a return on your investment that you want to make, and then you measure every possible acquisition against that requirement for yourself, whether it's a 12% gain, 20% gain, 30%, whatever it is you want to do. You got to measure every property against that in each scenario. So I would definitely say you definitely want to work with a professional, at least in the beginning, until you learn it, if you haven't done it already, just to make sure you're not going to lose your butt in the first few transactions that you do. So anyway, then obviously there's some people who are just trying to buy and sell their primary residence, and that's totally fine too. And you can just use the services of a residential real estate broker. That would be someone like me. Doesn't have to obviously be me, but someone like me. And then there's some people who just want to learn the game, and that's just consulting. So there's so many different avenues that we've been able to help people with, and I'm super excited about that because most of where we're working, and you probably remember from my last video, it's in marginalized areas, and we're able to empower and help people in those areas and help develop these areas. It's just the benefit is twofold. Usually trifold, because one, obviously we're making money doing that. Two, we're building the community. And three, in many cases, we're educating people on how to build wealth. So anyway, so there are a lot of details in each of those pillars. I could do a video on each one of those. I don't want to talk you to death, but I did want to close the loop, since I told you I would talk about it and tell you more about what we're doing today. You know, it's in really fast pace, because things are being acquired and sold, and you've got acquisition and dispositions happening all the time. There's always, I would say, on average, 10 properties being maintained in some capacity at all times. So it's an interesting flow. I don't have time to be a part of the day-to-day operations on all of that, but I do help with, like I said, the transactional side of, you know, helping to sell the properties once they are ready to roll. So if you have more questions about any of those specific things that I mentioned, you want me to double click on something, let me know. If you are interested in knowing more and kind of working in that capacity to become an investor, and you're interested in working with me, you don't have to, of course, or I could point you in a direction of where you could go. You can hit me up on Instagram. You know, I think that's probably the most private way, because this platform is everybody can see. But hit me on Instagram. My name is Rocky_is_me. Rocky_is_me on Instagram. Let me know. And I think that's it. That's all I wanted to kind of close the loop on about real estate there. It's not something that I always talk about or ever talk about on this channel. But I mentioned it, and then somebody was like, hey, I want to know more. And then when I told a little more, people were like, tell me even more. And so I did. So that's where we are today. So let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share it with your friends. Hit that like button.